Hi there, it's Janice Thompson from JazzleDazzleCraft.co.uk. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I live and work in Scotland. And I'm just getting myself all organised so that I can see comments of anyone who comes and joins us. Renee, hello! Glad to have someone here. Okay, so I'm just sharing out that I'm live and it's time for Cuppa and cards. Yeah, so today I'm going to be playing with Plentiful plants. I've got a few out. I need to find some more blocks ready. And yeah, I'm just getting set up. The usual, I'm winging it. But I have got out some bits and bobs and colours. So I have got to hand the Bloom Where You're Planted Designer Series paper, which is part of this suite. So if you're... Hi Renee, I'm just wondering why I'm not getting... Right, I have got some comments now. Facebook changes every week. It's just some of us older people can't cope with constant change. So I've got these papers out because I've kind of got an idea of using some of them. So we'll see what actually happens. These are lovely papers. I have demonstrated these papers before by doing a lot of cutting out. There are dies to go with this suite as well, and I do have them, but today I'm kind of just sticking with paper and stamping and layering. But the first thing I need to do is get myself some card ready to stamp on, because I haven't done that. So let's just go. If I take 2 sheets of this, in fact sometimes 3 sheets, this, although it does need a new blade, but well, do you know what, I think some of my beginners it would be quite good to show you me changing the blades if I can find one easily, because my drawer has got so much stuff in it. I know that they're there, but they are. Here's a couple of new blades. So let's just change a blade together. I've been using this blade for a long time and I've used it sometimes, but if you cut in both directions, but I do tend to cut from the bottom to the top so that the card doesn't slip and I get a right angle. So there's a little, if I can just put this here, there's a little wee wider groove here, and that's where you can take your blade out. I see I have already a couple of weeks ago turned that one round, but I cut a lot of card for classes and things, so if you're not doing that you won't go through them quite as fast. So I do need to order up some blades because that shows me I've only got one left, so that they'll need to go on my next order so that I've got some to work with. And then you just, using that same little notch, that's it, and your blade's in. Dead easy. So I'm just going to pop this in and chop it. In the first instance, I'm going to do a bit of the same but different, sort of, I don't know, using a very go-to, look at that, through 3 layers. I think it would do 4 no problem. I'm going to use a kind of go-to composition and do it in different sizes with different layers. So So I'm wanting one that size, and then I want to chop them down. So that's my 14.4 by 10.1 version of the blank card base. And then, so I've got that, and then I'm going to cut one down further. This time I will cut it down. What is that, 14.4? So take this to 12.4. So I'm taking 2 centimetres off. So 8.1. So if you do the same to each side, then you're still going to get, so that, and then that one, and then we can take one even further, and we'll take this one to 7.1 by 11.4. And you'll see that they're similar proportions, but they nest inside each other. So I'm just going to stamp, and then we'll see how we make them up into cards. Now I have a pile of colours here. Now I've got cinnamon cider out, I've got Cajun Craze, crushed curry, cherry cobbler, old olive, garden green. I probably wouldn't use all of them, but I just got them out to have a look at where I'm going to go with this. I'm going to start with the biggest one because that makes the simplest card. Excuse me, oh, just adjust my seat and get comfy. This is, so who's here? I've not had, I'll just stop for a moment and say hello. So I've said hi to Renee from the opposite side of the world. Jane, you're very close to me, not too far away. Hilary, hiya. Hilary's in Holland. This is not keeping my and Heather, hiya. Heather's in Canada, so my goodness. And oh, I can see a friend from way back primary school, Lynn, watching. And Lisa, hi, up in Aberdeenshire. I'm saying Shire. You can see I've been practicing doing a bit of stamping here. But what I'm going to do the first is my go-to, I've already got this sentiment out. This one, a little note with the biggest thanks. Last week I was able to see the comments all the time, and this week it's just being stupid. All right, so you're going to work later. I don't actually know how many hours behind me you are, Heather. We're at about, what are we, just after 11 AM here. 7 minutes past 11 here in the UK in the morning. So for this one, I think we'll have some garden green, some cage, no, we'll have cherry copper, and yeah, I'm not going to use too many colours in each card, but I might vary them up with each card just because I can, I suppose. Right, so with the cherry cobbler, I'm going to do, you've seen me do this style so many times, but remember, those experienced crafters that are watching me today, Cuppa and Cards on a Thursday is really aimed at beginners who maybe don't have a whole lot of crafting equipment yet. So this Plentiful stamp set is fabulous. It's got 15 stamps in it. You've got 3 containers, first plants, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 foliage stamps, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sentiment stamps. So really good all-rounder kind of stamp set. Some nice sentiments. So let's just pop this in here. A little note with the biggest thanks. There we go. I've just realised that this Cherry Cobbler was recently re-inked, and honestly it's got, you can see that it's really too juicy. So I'm just going to work the ink in. Now, I was watching Donna Gray, one of our Australian demonstrators, the other day. I used to scrape it off, but what she did was massage it, is the expression she used, to get it down into the pad, to work the ink down into the pad. I used to just scrape off the excess, but this way maybe not wasting quite as much ink, although you'll see my bone folder. Isn't that lovely? So I clearly have over inked that. I'm actually just going to scrape some off as well. So I'm just going to wipe that off with my microfiber, and now we have a stained bone folder, but do you know what? It's my old one. I'm not going to worry about that. I do have a wet chamois here, so I'll give it a bit of a... It is coming off actually. And I actually think a bit of surgical spirit on me, because it's a, well, it is a porous surface, but it's a hard surface. I should get most of it out later, but as I say, I'm not too concerned. So hopefully this will stamp better. We'll see if I can see the difference. I'll turn it over. Yeah, that's better, it's less blotchy. Okay. That's better. Here we go. I'm just getting, do you know what, I'm not organised, but I'm sure you're used to that. And this is driving me crazy, having to keep... Oh, hi Caroline! You're even closer to me. I think you're the person closest to me that's watching. Alright, so I'm going to take this leaf stamp here and pop that onto a block. And maybe even clean it, because I was obviously stamping with it last night and I've not cleaned it. Oh, there is a green that's on it, so it's not too bad. So I've got garden green, so we'll just check out that the garden green is not too inky. Yeah, and I would say that is too inky, because this is a distinctive stamp. So let's just, I did a few weeks ago refill a lot of ink pads that I've not used in a while. I think I maybe was a bit overzealous. It's not quite so bad. This will now be my ink massaging bone folder. Let's see. Oh, that's the wrong one. Yeah, you can see the difference. You don't have all these big blotches. So thanks, Donna. I just actually watched her video this morning. She was demonstrating the new, what's it called, Eden's Garden one. Look at the difference. She's quite right. So let's just double check this one as well while we're on. We might as well, yeah. Just use this one. So you're getting a lesson in something different today. We'll just check out this too. This is our crushed curry. Yeah, look, messy. So again, just take the side that's not got green on it. Oh look, you can see the difference that's making on the pad altogether. Right, get that cleaned. Clean the stamp. As well as new blades, I think I need to treat myself to a new chamois. saw someone the other day in one of the groups suggesting we have a black chamois. I think that's quite good because it would never look dirty. And I've got ink on my finger and we've not even made a card. Look at me. There you go, look, the difference. So let's turn it over and make this into a card after all our shenanigans. Right, so back to green, and we'll use these leaves. So as I say, when I don't know what I'm going to make or what I'm going to do, the first, with a stamp set, the first thing I do is do this composition. I just stick a sentiment in the middle and I work my way around the edge and stamp. You can do this with almost any stamp set that has sentiments and images. And if it's a set that just has images, just choose a sentiment from another set. Just try and fit this in a wee bit. There, that'll do. And then we've got the stamp here and this one that's got foliage in it. I'm going to use these and I'm going to be covered in ink. Right, so then I'm going to pop a bit of this with this crushed curry and just pop. I think this is actually meant for kind of coming out of a plant pot or something, but you know, just do it your way. Well, I'm doing it my way. And don't sing that song. I remember my dad singing that song all the time. I did it my way. Come on, who's singing that? You're punching penguins. I do have my Eden's garden, I'm just not ready to, not had time to practice a bit with it yet. It's beautiful. Have you ordered it yet, Caroline? I'm probably overdoing this, but this is just basically my go-to. And then this one here, that's sort of like a hang, that would be hanging out of a pot, a basket, or, and of course the die set's got like a macrame type holder and everything. It is fun, but today I'm just really stamping. And I'm bringing in, it kind of looks a bit like berries, doesn't it, when you bring it in like this? Really sort of random around the edges, and then you could cross them over. Far too much there now, but hey, I like it. I'm actually going to make the edge in more berries so you can see the greenery is behind. So there, that's my composition. I need to put, I don't want to put these inks away, that's because I'm going to, well in fact, will we just continue and just go with the same colours and do the same thing on all three bits of paper, but you'll see how the size of this, what you're stamping on, affects the finish I think that's what I'm trying to say. Right, where's my blocks? I need a blocks. Can't keep pulling them off and putting them back on. I'm having to keep touching my screen to see who's watching. Pest. Where's my chamois? Why do I keep putting it out of my reach? Right. That's better. This time I'm going to go in with the garden green. And then we'll take the greenery again. And what you'll see is, because the paper's smaller, we can bring it in closer to our sentiment. I think I'm going to actually bring that round there. They're kind of varying the angle a wee bit. Not so good stamping there, however, that will be probably covered up with what we do next, yeah? So when we're just going to take... So the obvious thing to do with this stamp set would really be to, you know, stamp at one of the pots and put some foliage in. And we might do that later, but for the moment I'm just going with doing something slightly different to that. So again... what are we going to do with this coming in? I think we'll just bring it in the way I did. A bit of stamping off as well is good. Stamp it once, stamp it twice, just gives more dimension. So just giving a very pretty border around your little wee sentiment. And then we'll bring in, so we're just basically done the same thing. Now this time, let's just give this a slightly different look and do stamp off, stamp on. So it's not so intense. Stamp off, stamp on, 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 stamp off, stamp on. And when I'm going on here, I'm going to cover up this blotchy bit, I think. Well, disguise, not cover it up as properly, but disguise it a bit. Watch, I nearly stamped over my sentiment. I want to keep my sentiment clear so that it's easy to read. Oh, it did that one too, and I forgot to stamp off, didn't I? Stamp off and stamp on. And there we have the same thing all over again. Now I'm just sticking with the same colours, and then we'll take the little one and we're going to do the same thing again. And you'll see this time, let's just change, we'll use the same colours, but I'm just going to change them around a bit. So this time, because I've done a sentiment in the other two colours, I'm just sticking with the same sentiment. And I've probably not cleaned my stamp properly, so and you know what? I'm not even going to risk that. Let's just... I realised that I cleaned it on my microfiber cloth, which doesn't always take all the previous colour off. A little note with the biggest thanks, and then foliage. Why don't we have red foliage for a change? Because, do you know, it's not written in stone that it has to be green. But we will stamp off and then stamp on. Yeah, that's giving a nice background, isn't it? Off, on, off, on. We can turn it round, off, on, off, on. Oh, this is frustrating. Facebook just stopped changing things. Oh, cheers, Heather, there's no rush, really. Really, a wee package from Canada is something to look forward to, and it will come when it comes. Oh, see again, done it again. So do take your time when you're stamping. And actually, do you know what, that's okay as is, but we'll just continue and use the same stamps again. So if I did this one, I've been doing this one with the... We'll do this one with green this time, so let's clean it off. I might just do the off thing and make this one a kind of gentler affair. So off, on. So it gives you a different shade. Off, on, off. I'll forget, you know it's going to, you can, are you watching for when that happens? On. Yeah, who's enjoying the autumn colours? And you will notice I'm kind of using autumn colours here. And the trees are changing, it's so beautiful outside. And Heather, who's watching just now, is in Canada, and she's also a Stampin' Up demonstrator. She also see, I've done it, did you catch me? You should have shouted at me. She also makes earrings and she does crochet, as do a lot of us, do them all, but she sells a lot of stuff on our market stalls, and she's made the most beautiful Fimo leaf earrings, and I decided to treat myself to a pair. There we go. And then we need to bring in this one, which to me is like berries. I'm going to do them with the other colour. So Caroline's punching penguins. What's everyone else up to? Polymer clay, which, oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. Is that like Fimo? Or Fimo just a brand name of that? Right, so now this time I'm going to bring in my crushed curry. So just showing you, you know, that this way I'm using the same colours, but by stamping off first I'm getting a completely different effect. Or remembering to stamp off first. That will be good. It's a bit more subtle, isn't it? Really, with one ink pad you can get lots of different shades, which means then you don't need to buy so much all at once when you first start. Right, so I am then going to decide how I'm going to finish these off. So my predominant colour here, well, the darkest colour here is the green, so I'm just going to, just to give this definition, just tap it through, don't drag it through because you'll tear the foam of the pad. But look, that one's give that a bit of definition. I would say these are definitely predominantly cherry cobbler, so we'll just go with that. Another wee technique for you with your ink pad. Just gives it all a bit of definition. Right, and then we'll shut the inks just now, because I've clearly got enough on my hands. I just got it all off from yesterday's antics on YouTube. The final bits came off this morning when I washed my hair in the shower. Right, so you know what we're going to do with them. So the first one's straightforward, the big one really, because it is just a one layer card here, and it's just going straight on to I think cherry cobbler, because yeah, I mean you could, I've got the other colours out here, so I've got garden green and I've got cinnamon, crushed curry, so it could go on that. Actually that's not bad. So we'd work on it any of these. What do you mean? But seeing as I've actually got a base in the, I better get my other bone folder, because I don't want to be spreading ink colours around. And we'll see, look, we're testing, it doesn't show through. So that's, you know, all the paper has two sides. So we'll just pop this one. Onto the card base. And basically there's your card. Obviously you want to line it with some white inside. I'll leave that to you how you finish it, I think, because I don't think, well, we do have some time, but we'll see how we go. Right, so one card done, dusted. Then of course if you come for the layers, let's just have a look. So I've got cinnamon cider there, but we didn't use cinnamon cider, so then we can have, will we have a green, or will it go on, well yeah, look, let's just play here. I can't see what you're saying. Oh, you've got a Zoom class this month, Lisa. You do fantastic with your Zoom classes. It's great. Right, so score it in half, cut it in half, in person yeah, just not done that in so long. So are we popping this? We could pop that straight on there and it looks fine, or we could layer this up onto some garden green, or we could lay it up onto a piece of cherry cobbler. So just to let you see, garden green like that, or buy some cherry cobbler scraps, or do I've not had cherry cobbler out for a while, so there's probably not scraps lying about. Let me see. My scrap box is sadly needing sorted out. Right, yeah, I've got loads of it, so we'll just chop a bit. And do you know what? I've got absolutely tons of real red, so real red's going to be my Christmas colour. So you've seen it with the garden green layer. These regal colours are gorgeous, aren't they? And we can do it with a cherry cobbler layer. I actually do agree. I think the green. So I've forgotten what size this is. So this is do you know, I thought that, yeah, 12.4, it seems a wee bit short of that. Must have been my cutting. 12.4 by 8.1. So, whoops. That means we need 12.8 by 8.5. Does that work? That's like a 4mm. Yay. That works. So we'll just glue that up. Again, these cards are quite nice and flat. They don't cost too much to post, so you can get them out. Just great thank you cards. And who doesn't need thank you cards? There we go. It's 2 cards. How are we doing for time? I've not even looked. Oh, 20 minutes. Right, so we've got this more subtle one. What we're going to do with it, I did have the idea that I would use some of backing from the designer series paper, but I'm just not sure. Let's see what we have. I love this paper. I love it, love it, love it. I have another bit here. don't know if that's too much. Oh, what about that on the terracotta wall? That works. Got cinnamon cider. Yeah, that doesn't work. You might think it works, but you know what? It has to please the person that's making it. So here we've got I know it is lovely, the paper, but this wall is quite cool, isn't it? So, I'm liking those colours together. I don't know if I've got a scrap of cinnamon cider either. Do you know what, I'll just use this bit. So I need to think about what this one was. Brain's dead. That one's 11.4 by 7.1. Well, I remember that when I get. And now my blade is somewhere on the floor. Luckily, I found it. Right. I prefer my scorer up there. Blade in. Right. So what did I say? 11.4. So that will have to be 11.8 if we're going up 4mm. Don't worry about these bits, they'll get used. And so it was 7.1, so 7.5. Well, it's wrong then, isn't it? Look, I showed you it incorrectly. Messed that up completely. Why does that not surprise you? Right, well, that's not going to work, is it? Right, well, I'm just going to use this bit and you'll just have to ignore the wee fold bit in it. Right, this time, Janice, get it correct. 11.4. I bet I cut that last one at 10.8 or something like that. 11.8. Dear. Yeah. Yeah. By 7.5. This is the way it goes, this is the way it rolls when you're crafting. It doesn't always go how you expect it to. And then we'll just cut some of this lovely wall, and that will be just as one layer onto my card. At 10.1. And 14.4, and all this will get used on something else. This time it's a landscape card. It is lovely paper, Lisa, and you can cut it out, and I've not folded my card very well either. Not ready, is it? Doing everything in too much of a hurry. Right, slow down, Janice. Slow down. Slow down. That's supposed to be scored at 10.5. Look, it is a bit skewy. A good way to is kind of just butt it against that bar there, and then get your bone folder and gently tell it what you need it to do. Don't force it, just gently coax it. That looks much better, doesn't it? I don't want a squint card, I don't anyway. Right, I've lost my designer series paper now. Here it is. It will layer this onto its layer of cinnamon cider. So if you have this stamp set, you haven't got it out yet, get it out and have a play. Use my simple go-to composition unless you've got a go-to composition of your own. This seriously works with any stamp set. And you'll start to see through me because you'll start to say, oh, here she goes again, she's using that same composition. But my opinion is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It works. And you can add all sorts, because you can add ribbon, you can add, you know, you can step them up any way you want. Emboss, I mean, this wall, I could have embossed that as well. Now, so you can pop that up on dimensionals this time and give this a slightly different look. I'm wondering when I'll ever finish this bit. I had this going for days now and I seem to be, there's so much, you can just use up the bits. And where's my snips? I didn't tidy up terribly well last night, obviously. So I'm going to use up these edges. Now maybe put a bit here because of that. What you can do as well to try and get that out is make it less visible. Yes, you can flatten it from the back. You can hardly see that there, but we will just put a bit of this on just to make sure it doesn't decide to fold or anything where the score has been. I'll just support that to stay flat. You've got lines on this paper, so your eye will be drawn if you do it squint. So 10 minutes left. So I've got one more idea for a card, and I'll just quickly, I need just to trim these are too long. Just another quick one layer card with this stamp set. Look. I want to bring in my not terracotta, my Cajun craze this time. I'll just keep these up because I fixed those inks. I don't think I fixed this one, so let's just do the same with this that we did with the others. And just do a very quick one layer card, I think. Again, I could have used this composition and done it maybe 3 times and done on different sizes. So it's a good idea just to try that different sizes of layers and see what you think. So that I was playing last night and this was just a wee idea that I had. a look. Just to fill in the last few minutes. So I'm just going to pop a pot about here. Yeah, I'll need that in a minute, and then we'll get our garden green. And the big foliage one, better clean it. No idea what colour I used it with last. Oh yeah, cherry cobbler, didn't we? Right. Of course, all the pinks and reds do stain the photopolymer stamps. But we'll just put this slightly like that way, just a jaunty angle from the middle of the pot. Of course, you could use masking to make sure that the plant looks like it's inside the pot, but just for today we're just... I could have cut the pot out with a post-it note and what have you. And I actually, we'll just leave that like that, and then with at the side here, all I'm just going to do is put a wee pile of pots, like they sometimes are in the greenhouse, piled up, waiting to topple over. Just a bit of fun. And we'll take our sentiment. So we've kind of just got two colours in this one, and we'll just keep it that way. It's just a wee clean and simple type of card, but do you know what, I don't know that I've cleaned that yet. It's okay. It's coming out green. A little note with the biggest thanks. It's just simple, isn't it? And what colour have I got? What card pieces have I got left? Right, I've not got. This will just finally be fine on a green. So we'll just close up the ink. And that was just our quick and easy fourth card, different composition. This should be just score it at 10.5. Because I'd used that for cutting some layers, it just wasn't quite half a sheet. It was a bit more than half a sheet. Might have to put a bit of a few bits of something on there, because I've managed to get an ink splodge. What I was trying to do is, I think we'll put a bit of definition on it as well, even though it is going on a green. Watch your fingers. Oh, really? I've really got ink everywhere of my fingers. Nightmare. Maybe I should have stopped. Oh, dear goodness. Okay, let's see what we've got to hide it with. I've got got these that would work in there alright. What else have I got? No, that green's all dull and the red is real red, so we'll leave them out. Oh, no happy with that. There's a bit of me thinking I could put extra foliage. What do you think? I've put a bit of extra foliage in that plant. I'd use another shade of green. Oh, Beverly, I'm just finishing. Just messed up. Look at that. Yeah, I'm just going to put the old olive in here. This will maybe work and maybe not, but it should distract. From my inkiness. There's a bit, you could almost want to do that as well. Well, why not? Just try it out. It doesn't work, it's only a bit of paper. What's wrong with that? I'm glad you like it anyway, Beverly. I think it's because we live at the opposite ends of the world, so our times don't always... That wasn't quite what I intended there on this fourth card. But do you know, sometimes... I was going to say it's an accident, but it wasn't. It was a creative opportunity. Is what we call it. Right, so we started off by doing our layers, and there's my basic composition that I use all the time. But then I layered it up and I made the layers a bit smaller, and then a bit smaller again, and introduced some designer series paper. And this was with stamping off on most of it except that. And then I just had a final composition, but it was supposed to be simple, and then I messed it up by getting ink blotches, but I think that's okay. I think I can get away with that. So thanks everybody, Cuppa and cards again. 4 cards done. Yeah, that's it, just do it. That's it. Well, do you know, it makes the ink splodge less noticeable. And now it actually gives me more confidence to use that stamp over the top of the pot. Yeah, cool. And if I'd done stamping off with that, then you'd have seen less of the blotches. But everyone, thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining me on my Cuppa and cards today. Please subscribe or follow or whatever. I don't know what platform you might be watching this on, because I'm firing it out everywhere. To YouTube and probably to Instagram. Just like, make sure everyone gets to see me. Please support me by leaving positive comments, and yeah, I'll see you next week. I can't believe how the weeks are going in just now. So yeah, we're probably going to start doing Christmas cards on our Cuppa and cards very soon. Anyone up for that? Are you ready to start creating Christmas? Let me know. Anyhow, we'll see you all on the next video, or wherever I pop up next. Take care, folks. Have a great day, evening, afternoon, whatever. I don't know where you are, wherever you are in the world. Enjoy the rest of your time. And I'll see you soon. Bye.